Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rise of Nyarlathotep. Thank you, Ian, for giving me a minute. We are a lovely horror comedy because we brought in that comedy. So we are a horror comedy D&D 5e podcast. So we're just before we jump into everything, we're going to go around the table and introduce everyone. I am Lucas, the GM, and my pronouns are he, him. I'll toss it over to Ian.
Hi, I'm Ian. My pronouns are he, they. I was your temporary host this evening. I will thankfully not be your full host because I'm not prepped to run this game. I play Weary, the artificer, officially alchemist artificer because we all leveled up, tiefling, and I'm very excited. Weary's pronouns are they, them.
And Jess.
Hi there, I'm Jess. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be playing Glyph, the mysterious automaton rogue, and their pronouns are they, them.
Eve.
There we go. Unmuted. I am Eve, and I am playing TK37, the Enhanced Goblin.
And Jason.
I'm Jason, and I'm playing Kratok, the Simply Superb Flammarian Bard. We both go by he, him, and Kratok has recently graduated from the College of Eloquence.
Yes, so there has been a few things. So first off, get a few things out of the way. The music that you'll be hearing and sound effects are provided by Sirenscape. Head on over to sirenscape.com to make your tabletop sound as cool as ours does. You want weird, fleshy, drippy sounds, spooky music, people just talking in the background so it sounds like you have a lot of people over at your house. By all means, hit up Sirenscape. Also, as you look into the center of the screen, pointing correctly, you see that we are proudly sponsored by Roll20. So you want to have a sweet online game like us? You want to make this stream or your podcast or just for funsies game happen? Then hop on over to roll20.com where you can create a lovely online tabletop for free, and you can play with people all over and suffer the lovely times of time zones. I will be doing a recap in just a second, but first, our characters have advanced to level 3 thanks to their fight with Bonesaw. So we're going to go around and hear the super cool stuff that these characters have now, and then I will hop into the previously on D&D. So let's start off with Jason, changing it up.
All right, so Kratok has graduated from the College of Eloquence, like I said. That gives him expertise. So his proficiency bonus is doubled for performance and persuasion checks. His gained silver tongue. Whenever I make a charisma persuasion or charisma deception check, I can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. So no more failing those epically. And he's also gained unsettling words, which basically is bardic inspiration, but in reverse for enemies.
Awesome. So now Kratok is going to be convincing my enemies not to do my lovely NPCs not to do things I want them to do. And Eve.
Oh, mine's pretty straightforward. I just got a new power, and that is launch, which is pretty much the ability to throw myself with a little bit more accuracy than before.
Yeah, we kind of saw that with the Bonesaw fight, eh?
Yep. That's where I introduced it, because I knew that we were just doing that for fluff.
And Jess.
Well, at level 3, Glyph got their roguish archetype, and after digging through the depths of the internet, I found a lovely homebrew archetype called the Bladeslinger, which essentially allows, as you level, you can do trick shots, and it's essentially you know so many tricks, and if you land an attack, you have a chance to do something extra cool. And so I have a few of those up my sleeve now, and I got 4 hit points.
Those 4 hit points will take you places.
I did forget to say how many hit points I got. Another 10.
Ooh.
Because I'm just massive, and that's just with like the default because I'm not rolling it because I always roll one if I roll.
That's fair. So for our homebrew games, I probably didn't say this before, but if you do roll 1s or 2s on HP, I do let you re-roll because I think that's lame. Because it's pretty rough on a character. So if you roll a 1 or a 2,
next time I'll roll.
Yeah, by all means, roll again. And Ian.
All right, so I'll keep it short. Weary's a full-fledged alchemist now, using all the training. So now I can do things like create a randomized brew that I can give to my allies, and I got some cool new like poisony, acidy, and healing spells. And then I switched out one of my infusions. So instead of one that you never saw, so I'm not gonna talk about it because we never used it. Weary will now start giving people magic tattoos that can cast spells. But it's just one spell a day, and then the tattoo stays, but all the magic goes away. So that'll be a bonding exercise after we defeat the town of Flesh, maybe. I also can't use the cool random potions yet because I have not slept. So we'll see how I end up, because I'll probably end up mostly alive. We'll see.
Just sleep in the flesh. That's
just
that's what
let
everybody else did.
Embrace me,
So, let's hop into this recap. Last time on Rise of Nyarlathotep, it was very busy. Glyph had a panic attack. We all found out that robots can have panic attacks. It's just a fun feature that somebody added into the code. And then Glyph got to meet a lot of beings that seem to have forgotten who they are or anything about themselves. And after Glyph had managed to make it out of a throng of them, Glyph ran into everyone else as they were in costume on their way to go watch Bonesaw. Due to the lovely costumes that everyone was wearing, they were mistaken for other wrestlers and were brought in to fight Bonesaw. After victoriously destroying this large minotaur troll skeleton with metal pieces inside of it and chainsaws for hands, if you haven't listened to that, it is a hoot. Hop on back there after we're done. They had each gained some fine little prizes. Kratok has a can full of screams. TK has a little bone lizard bird that goes from each of her shoulders. I believe Alora got a necklace that when you look into it, you actually see the universe. What did I give? Weary has the little stone that sings lullabies in an ancient forgotten language every 6 hours, which you attach to Pesca. And what did I give? Glyph got the sad, tired comic of individuals who may or may not be trapped inside those pages, having to constantly reenact the words that are written in there. So after you got your fun surprise prizes, the throng of strange forgotten beings had entered the room. You had managed to try to lead them away, Pied Piper them after TK blasted one of them, and Alora outlined them in fairy dirt, which they later regretted. You all head off towards trying to lead these flesh or these weird twisted beings away. And eventually you find yourselves in front of a tower, front of this large church. And this church had been absolutely just desecrated. The doors were kicked in, windows shattered. It's like a large cathedral. There's blood all over it. You see that there's you can kind of see inside. It's a little bit dark to look in there. And over to the left, as you look down the street into this one little neighborhood, you see that the buildings... I'm going to hold up this because the buildings were covered in flesh, but I'm about to go into a good description. So this is my little warning. When I hold up this little guy, that means I'm about to talk about gross body horror stuff. So the buildings were covered in these large, fleshy pustules that were beating and pulsing and oozing, and it looked like the flesh was growing over the buildings. It's like this weird purplish substance, and you could see it's growing onto the ground. There's spores that are coming out. And out of this one building in particular, there was a large, long, fleshy tube that looks like it had an entrance to it. So now you are all outside of this place, this large cathedral, and to the left of you there is this Fleshbourhood, And Glyph, you see the crowd that you were leading here, they just start meandering away from you into the Fleshbourhood.
Ugh. Gross. Did you say the cathedral was covered in graffiti and blood?
There is blood. I don't know if last time I said there was graffiti.
You just said it was like vandalized and the
Okay.
doors were kicked in and things were torn down and
Yeah, I wouldn't say graffiti because that kind of like says that maybe it's been a while. It looks like it's
Oh.
been fairly recent.
Okay. I run up the stairs of the cathedral and I see they're kind of dispersing, but kind of still between me and the party. And I want to hold up the neon home sign. And I can see the party, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The party's kind of like a little bit away from the crowd
Okay.
of beings.
Okay. And I want to hold it up and I say, TK, can you send this into the neighborhood?
TK just mind grabs it and hooks it, I guess.
So you just take this little thing that says home in glowing letters and you just fling it off and you watch it. Well, I guess you guys can see the outline of these beings as they're meandering, the flames around them, and they're just like going into this flesh neighborhood and you can all now hear like,
"What? Is this home? Where do I live? Which one's my house?"
and now you're all just standing in front of this desecrated cathedral.
Real quick, can we see the meat?
You can see
Or-
the Fleshbourhood. You can't see the beings that are walking around.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to double check. So, like, I know I can't see them, but I could see the rest of the meat. That seems weird that nobody's noticed.
Yeah, you even see like, because it's fairly late at night. Think of it like 11 p.m. or so, and there's like some people who are like coming home from bars or going out to them, and they walk by, like they see all of you standing near that cathedral, and they don't seem to react much. They just look around and keep on going.
Glyph, after pushing through that crowd and leading, I'm a mess. Cause they ripped up my clothes the first time, and so this is probably worse. Is it still raining?
Yeah, the rain's lit up a lot. Now it's just kind of drizzling, but it's still a little bit. And I believe, remembering Alora did a religion check, so I'll just give that to all of you because I remember Alora passed it. You do know this cathedral is to the demigod Zirkus, the demigod of the dead.
So Krataku's going to use detect magic because he's curious if any of like this fleshy stuff is real or some illusory thing.
Okay. So you use detect magic, and you're getting traces of transmutation coming from the neighborhood, but not a whole lot, and you're not really getting anything from this cathedral.
I think all this fleshy stuff might be real. It's really disgusting.
Is there any of this meat in my immediate vicinity?
It's like 15 feet away. Like you can walk on over to it.
Yeah, TK, what's the... Yeah, I want to grab a stick and like poke it.
So you just find like a piece of wood on the ground near some trash, and you come over to this fleshy mound, and you poke it, and it reacts like a shiver.
Oh, that's gross. I don't like that.
I think Weary, he gets really quiet for a second, like he's trying to aggressively analyze the whole situation so that they don't panic. And then they step forward and take out their alchemy kit. And I want to see if this flesh on the walls is similar to the plant stuff that like the monster people turn into. Like, so I want to take like a little knife and scrape a little bit into a vial and like cap it.
Just to analyze for later.
Yeah, because
okay.
I don't think I can do that. Like, I'm just taking out the glass
I was
bottle
gonna
and the
say that
knife.
would take a little bit. So yeah.
I don't think I can CSI it in the middle of the situation. So yeah, just a little glass vial and a knife, like a little scalpel or a knife, and just scrape some into the thing.
So similar to what happened to TK when you're scraping some of this away, it is reacting. It is kind of like almost pulling away from you as you're able to get some still, and you see it's like oozing down this yellow ichor that you've smelt before, and it's once again smells of that rotting vegetation.
Okay, so this is the same. I turn to the group. This is the same stuff as the people who transform into monsters. That it's the same, except it's on the buildings.
I've been like looking down at my cloak and my gloves, and I'm all mussed up. And when I hear you say that, I look up really quickly, and I say, "So it could possibly be the cult."
There was a lot of talk of people going missing, and then there was the creature that attacked Kratok, and what was it ACK or 4CK? 4CK. Yeah.
ACK.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and then there was the same creature, I believe, that attacked ACK. So yeah, it's the cult, but I don't think it's the same group that we were traveling with, unless they left somebody behind.
I got pretty close to Teresa in the last fight. Can I just roll like perception to see how similar it is, like structure wise?
Sure.
Okay. Ooh, okay. 23.
So you are looking over this, and first of all, it's purple, whereas Teresa was more like flesh colored. But other than that, it seems similar. Like there's bulging veins. You can tell like this flesh is like grown over things like plants and like organic material and inorganic. It seems like it doesn't really matter much which it's growing over, and you see like it smells the same. It's the same kind of composition to a degree, but it seems like it's still somewhat of a different organism.
All right, Weary. You got anything that'll burn in the rain?
Yes, I carry a lot of volatile acids on me.
Yeah, but like fire.
Oh,
Just
well, I mean,
this.
I can start fires, yeah, but well, I mean, most of the buildings in the city are metal, so
yeah, so just burn all the meat.
Like Weary shrugs and takes out a little fire starter.
The invisible people went into the meat houses, though.
I thought they went into the church.
No, they went into the meat houses. They went to their Fleshbourhood and started
What?
wandering.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
Mhm.
Those things should probably get burned too.
Where am I?
Oh, I can hear them. They're not actively harmful. Maybe if we solve the flesh neighborhood thing, they'll return to normal.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm just being very, very straightforward. Usually, when you got that kind of grotesque, like, mutation, I guess, I wouldn't assume that you just turn back when your house burns down.
Oh.
That's how that works.
That's what I do here.
I broke my tube and, like, I don't know, I still look weird.
Everyone make me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Damn. Okay.
11. Oh,
9.
Eve, you're muted.
That would be an 8.
All right. So Kratok, thank goodness for you. So your bird ears pick something up real fast because everyone else is distracted, and you're sitting there kind of like pacing a little bit and trying to figure this out. You're near the cathedral with everyone, and you can hear faintly that somebody is moving around inside that cathedral.
I think there's someone in the cathedral right now. I can kind of make something out.
I want to move towards the cathedral, and I will kind of hold my hand out to all of you to stop you from, say, rushing in there. And I will say, it may be another one of the creatures. Give me a moment, and I can stealth in there. You said the doors are like ajar?
Yeah, it's like they've been kicked in.
Okay, cool. Okay. Dirty 20 on
So
that
you're
one.
you're creeping in there. As you're going into this cathedral, it's of course incredibly high ceilings. You see that there are these large paintings that are made of like different pieces of colored rock along the walls. You can see the massive form of Xerxes, this like 20-foot tall being made out of corpses, as they're wearing this skeleton mask and they're reaching down like in this picture, and you can see that people are like offering up a dead body to them as they're accepting it and then moving away. And you can see that all over the pews have been destroyed. There was some tapestries that were up here and there. They've been wrecked. There was like some candle stands that have been destroyed. You can see here and there are splatters of blood, but you don't see any bodies. And as you're moving through this wreckage, you can see someone is standing at the front. There's no lights. Every so often, maybe like a very distant flash of lightning will illuminate the area. And you can see that there's this being with their hands clasped behind their back as they're just looking up at this massive mural of Xerxes. And they're wearing sort of tattered black robes that are reaching down all the way to the ground. They look at one point, they would have been very nice. And you're just getting the back of their head. They look like they're tall enough to be a human or an elf or something.
Okay, and they're just standing.
Yeah, it's every so often maybe like they'll walk over like 5 feet and look at something else.
And they just seem humanoid. Okay. I will stealth back out and let everyone know. Oops, or maybe not. That's a 12.
As you're starting to go, you're starting to leave, there is this small little wind-up toy car. Looks like it must have been someone's kid's car. And you see it, and you're like, don't want to step on that. But then one of those like ear mouses come by with like a large flappy ear.
No.
And then you're like, oh no, and you step on the car and just kind of send it going a little bit. And this person doesn't turn around, but they do say, you can stop sneaking now.
Oh, I stopped dead in my tracks.
Which one are you? Are you the one that killed Teresa?
Ooh. I will turn around to face him. And I will say, I believe the cult killed her when they transformed her into a monster.
The person turns around and their like robes are done up. They have like little buttons that are like very loosely clasping it. Looks like they've just been recently added. And they're wearing this mask. And it's like this solid steel mask. It's like bands of iron. They have little holes for the eyes, and there's no hold for the mouth, but you have no problem hearing them. It doesn't sound like their voice is being muffled at all. And they have these cold gray eyes that are looking at you, and it just reminds you of your time back at home. And this person's looking at you and says, you're right. The old Teresa died that day, but the new Teresa was born. We gave Teresa the gift of no longer being held down by ego. Are you going to bring your friends in here or have them stand out in the rain?
Is this, do I recognize this person? Is this Resmir? I don't know who
No,
this
they're
is.
not.
Okay.
They don't look like Resmir. You know that Resmir was a ghoul, and she had like kind of like a much larger form. Like she was around like 7 feet tall or so, whereas this person's maybe like 5'11".
Okay. Yes. I'm gonna say no, I don't believe Teresa knew what she was getting into. She had just recently joined your organization. I doubt she knew exactly what was going on.
It's true. Teresa was sped up on the process because unfortunately someone murdered her predecessor on a boat and then got another one captured by planting evidence on them. It has taken us a little bit of time to put together the clues about you and your companions. But what we're just so curious on is, why are you doing all of this?
I would say my companions originally are doing this for coin. But I can say that I, personally, am doing this to stop you.
Why are you trying to stop us? We're removing the shackles of society. We are taking away the burden that is the individual and offering them something so much more. Why are you stopping people who are willingly entering a situation, a contract that they desire? Why are you someone who knows better than them?
Maybe I'm not. But I can see that what you are doing is wrong. And creating monsters to hurt other people is wrong.
I take it your friends aren't going to come in then.
So Glyph's been in there for a minute, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely been longer than Glyph usually is.
Okay. So, and this is a big enough building to probably have like multiple entrances, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like after Glyph didn't just like poke their head in and then immediately come back, TK is gonna start trying to like sneak around the back and come in that way.
Okay, for sure. So around the cathedral, it's kind of like a cemetery. So you can kind of sneak your way through this like cemetery and go to the back where there's probably some sort of other entrance.
Yeah. And TK's gonna tell the rest that, like, all right, I'm gonna go around the back. Try to look for like a sideway in.
So
All right.
you start going around the back. Excuse me. You're passing by a number of tombstones. You see there's names. Some are quite new, some are very faded. You're just sort of drifting between them, hiding behind some of them when you feel like you're being too loud. And you make it to the back, and there is a back entrance, and the door is ajar. You see at the back here, it looks like this is probably a place that they bring dead bodies, and they also bring them out to bring them into the cemetery.
Sounds about right. TK's gonna just crouch low and start trying to sneak on in there.
Alrighty. And how about you other two at the front?
While TK37 is sneaking around, Kratok's going to go in the same entrance that Glyph did.
Yeah, same with Weary. They're going to follow Kratok, but like take out like one of the little jars of acid just in case to throw.
That was a 15 on stealth, by the way.
Okay. So you two walk in, and you see Glyph is talking to this person. This This person's about 5'11". They're wearing these black robes with this banded steel mask, 2 eye holes. And you saw them like as you were coming up the stairs, and from the entranceway you could see them, but you couldn't hear them. But the moment you entered the church, you could hear them perfectly, as if they were a couple feet away from you. And as you're walking in there, TK, you're coming through the back, and you see just a lot of vials and equipment has been damaged, destroyed, smashed. You see that there are some bodies that are lying on tables that have cloths over them, and you're weaving your way through this area, really expecting these bodies to just sit up. And you have such an eye on them as you're making your way, and you make it to this door that you reach up to put your hand where the door handle should be. And turning back, that door handle felt way too warm.
Oh,
And you look up. I'm just gonna hold this little guy up again. TLDR flesh door. So you look up and you see there's this door that's just, well, I'd say doorway, and this flesh looks like skin has been stretched across it, and this face is on the skin, and they look down at you and say,
Kill me. Kill me now, please.
Didn't
Quick.
even have to ask.
in, up, down.
It slides right down the middle.
So as you two are walking up behind Glyph, kind of like, we got your back, yo. And you're like standing there triumphantly with Glyph. You just hear, and there's just like this hacking sound coming from the back. And the person slightly turns their head, and if you could see, no, you can't see their expression, never mind. Their eyes, though, look a little amused, and they turn back to all of you. All right. So I imagine the TK-37 is back there. That's unfortunate. I just finished making that door.
How did you know TK's name?
Well, we've been looking into you. We had to look through the research at the Adventures Guild, and they were not cooperative. I'll tell you that much. But we got our information.
Who are you exactly to bend their will like that?
I am an interested third party. I will say that much. The Church of True Chaos is offering something very interesting, and that's change. I'm interested to see how they'd shake things up. But at the same time, there's another group that is also... I thought there would be more, but if you were just hired mostly for coin, well, I guess that is the ways of adventuring. Do you like the neighborhood?
What if I said no?
It's just personal opinion, it's fine.
It's not my favorite kind of neighborhood, I'll tell you that.
In TK, you're at the back. You pass through the skin door, and you're kind of like it leads into like the main area of the church. So you see the person's back. They're maybe 20 feet away from you, talking to the other three.
TK's just gonna like point at the others and point at the big person, and then like take her knife and like do it across her throat like that, like, huh?
Kratok kind of shrugs in response, unsure if that's a good idea.
Well, I just wanted to see what this little group was all about. I'm sure you'll have fun in the neighborhood. And I do hope you reconsider your stance. Just because these people might seem like monsters to you doesn't necessarily mean they are.
You're one of them, aren't you? With the
One of the-
masks.
Oh, one of the 5.
Yes.
Well, you've learned more than I thought you would have. Scrump, was it? Was it Scrump?
Who?
Fucking Scrump.
No, I really don't remember who that is.
Well, we found out we couldn't account for one of our missing members, and then I'm pretty sure someone said they saw him Cantra. Oh,
that's Scrump. Oh no.
Scrump never tree. Yeah.
Yeah, he never was a tree. So what happens now?
Well, I'm just gonna walk out the front door. I'm just gonna leave. And you can do what you want with the neighborhood. I was just testing something out and it worked really well. Really well.
Could you change it back? I kind of like the old decor better.
That's up to you.
What
I'll
do you
leave that
mean?
in your hands.
All right.
All right, well, have a good evening, everyone.
Weary cast
The
grease
second they
underneath
take a
him.
Yeah, the second they take a step forward, TK is launching herself at
It's a
him with the knife.
tabletop.
Everyone make those
So-
attack rolls.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's a deck save for the grease.
Okay.
Oh
Weary,
no!
Yeah, just takes out a spinning thing of grease and just throws it on the ground directly underneath him, so that when he takes a step forward, he falls. Hopefully.
They got a 13.
13. It's a 14 to beat my.
That's
save,
hilarious.
So they trip.
Oh.
I got a 9. So
Oh,
TK
no.
was
Oh, no.
not expecting you to do this.
So you
If-
go where he was.
Oh,
Come
'cause
sailing.
If he's prone, you get advantage. I don't know if that helps.
It helps me.
Oh, it does
Uh,
help. It does help Glyph.
It helps me.
I'll give TK advantage because he would slipped when that happened.
Well, I just rolled a nat 1, so
Oh, I
Nope,
Even-
that's a 9.
Wow.
He slipped right underneath the TK.
So it's now
Oh.
canon that TK is not as fast as Grease Lightning.
Boo.
Terrible.
I want. Okay. So all this feels like it's happening at once. So Weary cast grease. He slipped dramatically. TK went over him.
Mm-hmm.
When he hits the ground, I want to run up and attack. He's prone, so I have advantage. So I'll get sneak attack. I'm gonna throw a dagger at him, and if it hits, I want to do a trick shot, which is one of my new cool things. And I want to do a disarming shot where you can make. I'm not sure if this would work. It says you can make them drop one object they're holding.
You want
But I
him to
wanna
drop the
knock it-
mask?
I want him to knock his mask off. So let me see if I can get the attack first. Okay. Oh wait, I have advantage. Yeah. Okay, that's a 16.
So a 16 is a miss.
What? Okay.
So you
Oh no!
and Kratok, what would you like to do with your surprise round?
No.
Oh god.
Kratok is kind of upset at this being and the way that
Fair.
they speak. So Kratok says, "I've heard enough out of you for a while," and casts silence where they're standing.
Ooh. So it goes real quiet where they are. And much like what TK did in the Bonesaw fight, you see this being just like comes back up to their feet. And you watch as the mask like clamps down on parts of their face and starts moving over to the back of their head. And it forms this long like headpiece. It looks like the classic pharaoh's headpieces that's draping over. Their robes split apart as they start growing in height. They're about 9 feet tall. Their hands, their fingertips end in these jagged fingernails. And they stand, their eyes are glowing this yellow light as they hold out a hand, and this large scepter appears in it that they just hit down onto the ground. And you feel this reverberation that you can't hear anything. And they're now just starting to walk towards the three of you. And they do not slip in your grease.
It would have been really funny if they just kept slipping and falling on the grease.
That would be good.
We're not in initiative though.
No,
He
you
might just
feel free.
leave.
You feel free to attack all you want.
Oh,
Okay,
now the
so-
mask is like covering his whole chest, right? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was going to be my next step, was just ripping it off. But I don't think that's an option.
No.
Can I push my powers to try and rip that whole thing off?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Is my addition for that? Do not fall. Stop falling. There is a very slight slope on my desk. So whenever my dice bounces, it wants to roll.
Jumanji.
That would be a 17 total.
So you pull the mask. You pull the being with the mask. And they let you. They go along with it. They kind of go a little limp as you're pulling just towards you. And they sail along. Thanks to the grease, they glide along, really. And stop in front of you. Now looking down at you, TK. You're outside of this silence as you're looking up at this 9-foot tall being. And they're just staring at you.
That did not work how I expected it to. Somebody else do something.
Barry takes out a crossbow and shoots it.
Roll a hit.
The creepy pharaoh man. Nice. That's a 21 to hit.
You hit. Roll that damage.
Oh, also 10 points of
Wow.
damage. Yeah.
If this is some kind of test of our abilities, it's going great.
The journey of this guy's 200 hit points begins at the first step.
So, you all want to play. Very well. I would love to. First, let's do a little wager. If I win, I get Glyph's mask.
What do we get?
My mask.
Deal.
All right, roll initiative.
Wait.
Oh!
No!
Ah!
This is bad. Okay. Oh, this is
Someone-
very
that's-
bad.
That's the one thing I really love about this
That's
group is
bad.
I don't expect it. I don't expect what you're gonna do, and you do it. And
That'd be an
This is bad.
18.
The grease puddle and the silence is still in the center of the church, so if we could just push him in there.
TK's
it's a bad
powers
time
do
for
involve
him.
pushing and pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like we got
Really high on my
ba-ba-ba,
initiative,
ba-ba-ba.
so.
That's good.
all right, so Kratok, what did you get for initiative?
I rolled a 17.
TK, what'd you get?
That'd be an 18.
Glyph,
I got a 23.
Weary,
12.
we start with Glyph. Let's find some music for this moment.
Okay. How are we situated?
So, we'll kind of play it a little fast and loose, but you're about maybe 30 feet away from them. They are towering over TK, who's near the back of the cathedral. You're a little closer to the entrance as you were trying to get out. And the other two are right on either side of you.
Okay. So if I move towards him, would I be flanking with TK, or have to get like real close to him?
Yeah. If you move the full 30 feet, I'd say yeah, you'd be flanking.
Yeah. Okay. I will run up, and I will say, I feel he has no intention of honoring the wager, and I will attack him twice. No, once with my short sword. And wow. You get a 15, which is gonna miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then since I miss horribly, I will cunning action to run back.
Get out of there? Yeah.
I will run back to Weary and Kratok.
So what happens is you run forward, and you're good at what you do. You know what you're doing. You've had a lot of experience with this kind of thing. And you jump forward, you swing your blade. It's a sure hit. They just reach back and grab your wrist and push it away. And they look back, they look at you, Glyph, and they say,
Just one moment.
and we go from Glyph to TK.
Yeah, TK's just gonna thrust her arms forward and push this fool back into that silent grease. It's a DC 15 to strength check to resist.
Let me know if the music's too loud for you guys as well.
Yeah.
All right. So you just push this blast out, and they brace themselves with this large scepter, and just turn down the music a little bit. They brace themselves with this scepter, and they get pushed back into the grease. And now you can't hear what they're saying anymore.
Right, shut up.
It looks like they're saying something, but you just can't hear it. Hi, Cosmo. And we go from TK to Kratok.
All right. So first off, Kratok's going to use his bonus action to use his unsettling words against the creature. And he basically just says, as long as you're in there, no one will be able to hear you on your death throes. So the creature will get a minus a d6 on the next saving throw.
Ooh.
And he will cast Hideous Laughter. The emotions are back and forth on this turn. I don't know what I was thinking, but oh no, that doesn't. Never mind.
What's happening?
Yeah, he'll drop the silence. It's because they're both concentration spells.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'll drop the silence though. That's okay. He'll say,
Okay.
all of this over a mask. We could have fought for souls or gold. No, you want to mask this badly. And that's 15 wisdom saving throw.
All right, better roll that d6.
It'll subtract 2 from whatever you get.
So you cast this spell, and it zings off, and you drop the silence, and it goes to them, and they go,
Oh, that mask is worth more than that foolish robot will ever know.
and it goes from Kritok to Weary.
All right. Bear with me. My internet's been a little off for the last 5 minutes, so we shall see. Weary thinks about what they're carrying, and then remembers something that they picked up while they were at the caravan. It was the cult's anesthetic. And I don't know how it works. Worst case, it no longer feels pain, but that could be good because it won't know how much pain it's taking.
Right.
Best case, it puts it to sleep. So Weir's gonna load Pesca with the anesthetic, and as a bonus action, send Pesca out to cast the anesthetic as a touch attack, or a touch add the anesthetic to this person. Yeah.
All right. You want to roll that attack?
Sure.
Oh no, we're losing. What a dramatic moment for the internet to.
Yeah, I have to pull up his. Oh no.
We can hear you.
Yeah. You're cutting in a little bit, but
I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool. I rolled a 20 hit.
Oh.
So 16 plus 4.
All right. So this little Robofish, our beautiful little robotic Magikarp, comes swimming through, though it looks much cooler. And it goes, and you see it kind of it nibbles a little bit, goes into do that classic fish bite at the feet. It goes, bites at the feet, and quickly swims away. And they look down at their foot, and they're just kind of stretching their toes a little bit. They're wearing these sandals, and they're just kind of looking down at it. It looks a little strange. And they look back up.
All right. Who wants to be hit first?
Oh, I wanted to use a main action to
Go ahead. Yeah.
hit him with the crossbow bolt again. So yeah, I load
Sure. Go ahead and attack.
it up and fire off a shot. Oh, I said I missed. It's fine.
Okay. So while they're saying this crossbow bolt just whizzes by their face, and they look over at Weary.
All right, you'll do.
All right, Weary, what is your AC?
15.
What is your HP?
24.
All right.
You're dead.
Don't say that!
So they come up. They walk calmly. They're kind of flexing their one foot a little bit while they're walking. They're walking a little bit awkward, and they're holding on to the scepter. And they take it and slowly, you're getting ready. You're about to try to get out of the way. It comes down and levels at your face, and it just stands there for a second. And then in this blur of emotion, they bring it down on one side of Weary's head. You hear this audible snap sound. And then they bring it into the other side of Weary's chest, and you see Weary just collapse down to the ground.
One down. I can't wait for my new mask.
We go to Glyph. You're not dead, Weary, but you are at -5 at the moment.
Okay, so I could take a hit.
Hold on just a second. I need to think. Where is Weary in relation to me?
Probably about 25 feet away.
Oh, I have an idea, but it's bad.
Best kinds of ideas.
Oh, I hate this. Oh, I don't want this. Glyph doesn't want anything to happen to... No, Glyph doesn't want anything to happen to his friends. I would just give him the mask. I don't...
You totally can.
I know, but I shouldn't. I super shouldn't. Shoot. I want to... First, I will move, and I want to be protectively over Weary. The doors are open in
Wide
the
open.
cathedral. Wide open. How far is it to the Flesh neighborhood?
Running out of the cathedral from where Weary is, you're probably going to be running like 100 feet.
Okay. Hey, oh, dang. Because I could ask TK to yeet it into the ether. Oh,
You
no.
football style this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say, if you want it, go and get it. TK, go long. I will peel my own face off. And I will throw it up. And I don't know how this is going to work in initiative. I don't know where TK is in the... Are you right after me?
Yes. So that
Okay.
works well.
Great. Just
Where exactly? Like, are you throwing the mask to me?
No, I'm just throwing it like up and towards the door so you can yeet it out of the cathedral.
Okay. Yeah. DK does that. Thrusts the palm out to it, just boom,
So
and
you
shots it out.
you yeet that, no problem. And I will, if anyone's gonna attack still, I'll let you. But if you want, you could drop out of initiative right now. Which would you like to do? The three of you.
TK wants to provide some cover
Okay.
because technically, like, if that last hit on Weary is average, TK can take a hit.
Okay.
Kratok's running over to Weary to cast the level 1 Cure Wounds.
All right. So we'll say that. So this being looks at all of you and sees the mask sail out.
That was the smartest thing you've all done in the past 2 weeks. I'm sure I will see you all soon.
I want
Now
to do
that
something.
we have the 5th mask.
I want to do something. While he's monologuing, I want to dash double move, and I'm gonna run out after my own mask.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right. So
I'm gonna go get it.
you are going to race this being
Yep,
for a mask.
we're gonna race.
I want you to make me 1 reflex saving throw and 1 athletics check.
Can I give this guy disadvantage on his rolls by trying to hold him?
You can give disadvantage on the on his athletics check for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So you said Dex and Athletics?
Yep.
That's a 22 on the Dex.
Okay. So you'll take half
And-
damage.
And Athletics. That is a 16 on Athletics.
Okay. So they hold out a hand and they blow down, and this black sand comes out. And it goes towards you, Glyph, and it turns into this little twister. And Weary, it kind of just like ragdolls you off into the pews. And it keeps going towards you, Glyph. You just managed to get out of the way, so you only take... Let me do this. So you're only taking 15 points of damage. And they start running. And it just becomes this like just breakneck speed. TK, you see it at the last second and you reach out with this blast. You kind of throw them off and they got their one going numb foot. So they are currently neck and neck with you, Glyph. This 9-foot tall being is just smashing down onto the ground. You see it. It's just kind of like that. When you go outside into the rain, this little drizzle hits you, and in the night, you can see from one of these like flesh-covered lampposts, it's this mask is just sticking out of the ground, just partially covered as you're racing forward. I need you to make me another athletics saving throw.
Come on. Yes, okay. That one's an 18.
Okay.
Come on.
So both of you get there. You slide down to get it. They lean down. And they're moving so fast, but doing such graceful movements. You both grab onto the mask. You look up as they're looking down at you. There, you can see just this gleeful look in their eyes and say, "Now you're bound." And they let go of the mask and they're gone. And you are out in the rain, holding onto your mask.
Are they gone? As in, like, blink poof gone?
Yeah, blink poof gone.
Fun. Yeah, TK is running out after Glyph.
I have my back to you, and I'm just standing there staring at the white mask.
TK's looking around. She's got her spear fully extended. Ready. Where'd he go? Where is it?
He's gone.
Are you sure? Didn't just turn invisible or something?
I give you a one shoulder shrug. And
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at my mask, and it's with the rain on it, and you can't see my face. And I just say, "Now I am bound."
Katak, you help Weary out of the debris. Weary, your head hurts a lot. Your jaw hurts in particular, and your ribs hurt. But you're alive, thanks to Katak's healing, because that would have really messed you up.
Oh. Did I get hit by, like, 7 bone saws?
It's some crazy scepter swing thing. It moved so fast.
It was so fast. Oh, goodness. Oh, God, is Glyph okay?
I think so. We should probably head outside if you can move.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll just limp a little bit, and Weary has Pesca, like, wrap around their shoulder. More of a comfort thing than anything else, and just kind of, like, starts limping over.
You two come out
outside.
Oh,
You two come out into the rain. Weary, your face is already just like half a bruise, and you could feel the bruise in your side. As you look over, you see Glyph is hunched over, not too far, holding onto this mast. You can't see Glyph's front. And TK, you and Glyph are there in this rain.
Why did he want the mask?
He said it was the 5th mask.
I heard that. Why do you have that?
I do not know. This was given to me years ago. I did not ask for it.
By who?
I will straighten up and I say, my employer. I want to shove it in my bag. I'm not putting it on. I don't know. I kind of stop and look at it. I've had this for years. It has never exhibited any form of magic.
You probably shouldn't wear it.
There was one time you were all leaving Port Divinarium, and the super beach bro guard waved a wand over it, and it glowed blue.
Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna... Do I even have my hat? My hat was in the green room.
Yeah, well, we'll say you got your hat.
Okay, thank you. Small mercies. Yeah, I'm gonna pull my hat down real low and pull my scarf up real high. Probably don't have my sunglasses anymore. Yeah, there it is, just hat and scarf. Like, you're not sure how I'm seeing anything. Weary, Kratok, can either of you see if this is magic? I'm just holding it.
I think Kratok has to look at magic eyeball spell.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use detect magic again.
You cast this spell, and this thing is lit up like a Christmas tree. It has heavy amounts of transmutation and a little bit of divination and conjuration in it.
Glyph, this is probably one of the most magical items I've ever seen. By a long shot, actually.
And you put it on your face.
I just kind of look at it, and I'm
That's what
like...
you do with a mask.
Yeah, and I'm just like, she would, and I shove it in my bag.
I mean, if I knew it was magical, I would be more tempted to wear it. So it's kind of fair if you ask me.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
So we have had one of their masks this entire time.
Wait. Glyph, does that mean... Glyph, is the reason that you never take off all your big outfits because you're one of them?
I kind of tilt my head confusedly. No.
Their bodies change.
No, I can assure you. I am not one of them. I did not even know about them until a few weeks ago when we all learned from the Duke.
Weir's kind of got a point there. But you have been killing them. But they don't really seem to care
Yeah,
about killing things.
Yeah.
In time, I will tell you. I am not in league with them.
Are you famous
That's
or
not
something?
suspicious at all.
Usually in Plumeria, if someone becomes really famous, they might cover their face. That would make sense. I wonder who you are.
Y'all are killing me. Let me hear. If I was in league with them, I could have killed you in your sleep days ago.
Yeah, but that guy also didn't kill us. It was a game to him.
It was, and we quite possibly walked right into it.
Don't take this the wrong way, Glyph, but I don't think I can trust you right now.
No.
And
Oh.
Weir gets really quiet and like it's like and turns to TK and is like, also that anesthetic you gave me, I used it on his foot. I don't know what I thought would happen. I thought maybe he would fall asleep.
Why didn't you put it in his face?
I sent Pesca really well. I mean, if that, then his face would have gotten all weird. He had a mask on. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I messed
Maybe
up.
dunk it in his eyes or something. Make them fall asleep.
Sleepy
I don't have any
eyeballs.
more. I'm sorry. I dragged us into that. We could have just walked away, and
I attacked him first. All right. Okay. Let me think. So, we got several issues. We have a mask. Glyph may or may not be a monster person. Got a flesh village. We still need to get to greenness. Now, several of these problems can be solved with lots of fire. So, let's go. Let's start burning things. One step at a time. We'll burn this stuff, and then we'll figure out if Glyph is a bastard. And then, if they are, we'll burn them. And then we'll go get some sleep and some booze. And then we'll go to greenness.
I'm standing here like a wet puppy, just like completely soaked.
Any objections?
I'm hungry.
oh
I'll
god,
tell you.
I don't.
What do I eat?
2K takes a stale muffin from her bag and just like hucks it towards that voice.
Oh,
So, come on, Mary. Let's go. Let's get started with the fire. I talked to a door. It did not like being a door. So let's burn it all.
We didn't start the fire.
Fire. It's always burning since the flesh was growing. I don't know.
It's not your
just
time.
real quiet. A bunch of little. I don't know. Did
We can hear you.
We kind of could, anyways.
Well, we could at that time.
I could for a second.
All right.
Oh,
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh no, we're going to be out of the borders.
Oh no. We're
learned
all
it.
out of our little windows.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm gonna move weary too. It's not letting me move things around.
Oh.
yeah, my internet said no.
Okay. All right. Give me 2 seconds, everyone, and I'm gonna shuffle people around.
Fun behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
Eve currently.
Betrayal.
This is gonna take a bit.
like
Oh no.
Hey.
the Brady
Hey, did I get it?
Bunch.
Oh, so close. Oh, these two mixed up. Did I get it? Hey,
I'm so
there we
sorry.
go.
Two.
Boy, fish.
All right, there we go. Now that we're back in action, so you're gonna light my neighborhood on fire. All right, you know what? Let's see how this goes. So you start lighting some of it, and the tricky part about lighting a mound of flesh that's been rained on all day is it's hard because it's super soggy and moist. So what are you going to use to make sure this flame goes?
Well, that's why I need Weary. TK can start a fire.
Yeah.
TK doesn't know how to start a wet meat fire.
Weary takes out their alchemist kit, and I'm gonna try to use it to make some alchemist fire,
Okay.
and hopefully that'll mitigate the wetness factor.
Sure. So you are sitting there for a little bit. So just crafting away. Glyph, you can see these beings.
It cost me gold, so
These beings are
however much
wandering
alchemist
around,
fire costs.
and you see like one of them's eating a muffin. Like they're going in and out of these houses. A few go into the tube, and they don't come out. And you just see that Weary gets this alchemist fire ready, and the two of you could just hear them wandering around going,
what? Is this my house? Where am I? Who are you? Don't ignore me!
You're just hearing this constantly from like 30 or 40 individuals. There's a lot of people that are saying this. And you get that alchemist fire ready. It's all good to go. It looks like you could probably Billy Joel this neighborhood.
I want to sidle up to Weary. I won't get too close. But I will say, the flesh tube at the end of the street is possibly a main artery of a sort. The creatures that go in do not come out.
Oh.
I should probably unmute myself. So we start with that. That's a good idea. Unless it's a dirty trick.
I didn't trick you at the cathedral. That was all you guys.
No, I'll talk at Glyph.
Oh, I see.
Lost all my friendship points.
Yep.
You know what?
The Arcana is upside down.
I will tell you right now, TK genuinely thought that Glyph was like actually a threat. She would have stabbed Glyph already.
Yeah, Kratak's not too sus of Glyph yet.
Yet. Oh. Yeah, and I just kind of point out that the meat tube leads to what would be the center of the neighborhood.
All right, so what do you want to do with the meat tube? Do you want to hurl fire at the meat tube, or do you want to go over to the meat tube? These are my meat tube questions.
Do
Well,
we hear... Oh,
Yeah, so what's in the artery?
yeah, do we hear the people who went in there, or are they like...
No.
Alright.
I just
Stay
feel like
back.
if we're going to burn anything down, let's do a really good job of burning stuff down.
Yeah, I'll go investigate the meat tube. And TK's just gonna walk up, you know, taking her time, looking around, making sure nothing's gonna jump her. And she's just gonna stab it really hard with her spear.
All right, so you're walking on over to the meat tube, and it's a weird conversation I never thought I was going to have in my life. You are walking on the meat ground, and it's so soft. It's like you're walking on a mattress, and it's really throwing you off because it's reacting to your feet as you're pressing down. You make it over to the tube, and you're looking around. You can still hear beams going like,
What is this? What's with the walls?
and they're hitting into things. You can hear them knock into things break, a window shatter in the distance, and you look down this meat tube, and it is a fleshy tunnel that goes further into this large house. And you take your spear and just stab it, and you hear this like, as it's like just sort of flapping around.
TK just turns around and like throws her hands up and shrugs, like, okay. Freaking out. It might make it a bit harder to burn.
It appears to be somewhat alive. It's
Oh yeah,
I don't.
no, this stuff's definitely alive and it really hates being alive.
Do we have enough of the anesthesia? Perhaps we can knock it out so it does not react.
TK pulls out her little bottle of it. It's like, I was saving this for a special occasion.
Do not have to use it if it is not enough.
Oh, that seems like a lot, nurse. This might be enough to knock me out, but that tube's bigger than I am. You, doctor. Weary.
Oh,
You
yes.
think this is enough to knock out that?
If we're going off surface area alone, I don't think so.
right. Well, light on fire.
Okay. Weary
Probably gonna
goes
freak
into the
out, so don't
tube.
stand too close.
Okay. Weary goes into the tube with a long fuse, and sets a bottle of alchemist fire that's kind of like set in such a way that it'll like shoot outward and like get maximum coverage. And just walk outside and like sit in the rain, like hunched over the fuse so that Weary can start the wick without like any of the water ruining it, and just like finally with the flint just like lights it and it goes down the line.
So you're gonna walk into the flesh tube a little bit, though, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So you're like, leading, you're feeding the wires, you're bringing your basically your fun arson bomb to the center of this flesh tube, and you're setting it down so it doesn't like move, fall over, or anything like that. And while you're doing this, like goo comes and like drips down your face as it's going down, and you're fairly certain that's saliva as it's going on you.
Oh.
And you actually see something as you look over into this large flesh house. I'll give you I actually wrote a fun little description for this.
Oh boy.
You look over to your right, and I'm just gonna hold this up, and then I'll give a quick recap for it after. You look over, and you see that this area has been cleared out. There's no furniture, no walls inside there aside from the outside ones. And you can see in there's like phosphorescent glow, this orange glow that's lighting up the area. Everything is covered in the flesh. You see in the ground, merged, are eyes, mouths, arms, the spindly arms reaching out, and it's alive in there. But in the center, that's what catches your eye, this putrid mass of bodies merged together. And it has faces that are poking out of it. This large mouth forms up and opens. As you're looking at it, your whole body is going cold. You feel sick staring at this thing. And this mountain, it just is looking at you, and you start to hear it giggle as it's staring over. So you see this large, basically this large flesh room inside there, and there's a large mound of bodies that have been merged. And it's giggling in there as this large mouth is opening up in the mound.
I try to do some quick mental math that I will regret. Does the body pile just about correlate with the number of voices screaming, "I don't know where I am, how do I get home"?
Maybe. You're not too sure on that one. It's hard to tell.
Weary will draw conclusions. Yeah, that doesn't look reversible. Oh, I absolutely despise that, Lucas.
Nope.
How dare you?
Did not care for that.
Yeah, Weary does a quick, I guess, perception to check around if, like, anything has been embedded in the body pile to make it do this before I explode everything in here.
Yeah, make me a perception.
Sure. 15.
You see in there are a few Dwarven 2.0s.
Oh.
They're kind of wandering around, these hunched over forms, maybe 4 feet tall. Their faces ending in a mound of tentacles and 2 large eyes. They have almost like this raptor molted skin. They have these like little claw hands hanging forward and these bowed legs and this long tail as they're just wandering around here, these Dwarvens.
Does it look like they've noticed me?
No, actually.
Oh,
But you
so,
do
like-
hear one thing.
Oh.
And it's saying, I taste something on my door, if you don't know what that was.
Oh. Okay. I was gonna say the distortion made it hard to parse, but that's horrible. I don't like being in here. Yeah, no, I think Weary very gently places down the alchemist's flask.
You start lighting it like nope.
Yeah,
Each
I
time
know,
you're
I
hitting the
gotta-
flint.
Yeah, like no, I hate this.
you finally spark it, and it sizzles in, goes in, and it erupts in there, and you can just hear as the mound is screaming, and the flames they're lighting up. You actually have to get away because this alchemist fire is lighting quick, and you're getting away. As you're hearing the screams of 30 to 40 people in this area.
So, like Aladdin emerging from the Cave of Wonders, Weary leaves the burning mouth tube, not content at all with what is probably their first war crime.
Bizarro would be proud.
No. Yeah, I think Weary looks to TK and is like, "Don't be proud of me for this."
Well, what else were we supposed to do? Just let that thing grow and spread and eat everything in the city? Oh, come on.
It could talk.
Yeah, so did the door that told me to kill it. You know what I did? I killed it.
You killed a door.
The first thing it said to me was kill me.
Oh. Okay, I'm not emotionally equipped to discuss the ethics of when something asks you to kill it.
The meat does not want to be meat, so we burn it.
So I was considering
Bird can eat it
vegetarianism
or something.
Oh God! Where he steps further away.
So Kratok actually has bagpipes. I found out that you can take them as starting gear. So he's just playing like a send-off funeral song on the bagpipes really loudly, obnoxiously, to kind of drown out the screaming and stuff.
Oh my god, this is like medieval Scotland over here. Okay, so you play the bagpipes to drown out the screams. And Kratok, you roll me a performance. Let's see how this goes. Tell me of your bagpipe song.
That is an 18.
It's good. I like bagpipe music, regardless of what Evan from other campaign says. You play these bagpipes, and you're playing like this dirge song, right? Like you're letting these souls rest. You're letting them go, and people are coming out going like, "What the hell? It's midnight. Who's playing bagpipes?" And like you're starting like a number of people are coming and going, "Why is it so hot over here? What is going? Oh, that smell!" You see, there's maybe like 20 people because you're kind of in a residential area. The Fleshbourhood was right in the thick of it.
Barbecue. TK takes a
No.
meat. She takes a meat tube from her pocket. Just eats it.
Yeah, so you're eating a delicious meat tube, a meat tube branded meat tube, not a house meat tube. So
Stamped right across the side.
yeah, is it edible ink? We don't know.
I mean, it's edible enough. You can eat it technically.
So the Fleshbourhood is
One of the
screaming.
bosses is in the meat tube factory.
Kratok is playing the bagpipes. People are shouting. I want the four of you to give me a perception check.
Wow, I am rolling hot dog shit tonight. That's a 6.
Oh my god.
22.
I got an 18.
I got a 19.
Everyone aside from TK who's just enjoying this delicious meat branded meat tube.
Yeah, bagpipes, meat tube. We got a fire.
Screams, got it all. It's like home.
I mean,
Practically
this ain't
camping.
bad.
The three of you all see there is this massive being that's peeking over the cathedral. They are constructed out of bodies, much like the mound, except they're a humanoid shape, with a large skeletal mask on. They're looking over as you watch demigod of the dead, Xerxes, just coming towards this fire. And you don't hear anything when they're walking either. They're marching over into the fire and just reaching down. And you see, Glyph, you can see the bodies. You can see, like, one of those forgotten beings falls to the ground, and Xerxes just picks them up and just, like, places them on their chest, and they just become a part of the collection. You're currently watching the demigod of the dead collect, while TK enjoys a meat-branded meat tube. Could you stop playing the bagpipes? I have to work tomorrow.
You must honor the dead.
Who's dead? Bonesaw? I already grieved for Bonesaw.
Can't you see all the corpses?
What corpses?
Never mind.
Are you those
understand.
punks who vandalized the church? Oh my, I bet you are. Why does that smell?
It's a barbecue.
I lean down to Kratok and I'm like, they cannot see. Perhaps we should go.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Hey, where's the Laura at?
You don't see Alora anywhere.
Oh no.
They must have bounced. Or they got kidnapped.
Those are all very bad. Those are bad things.
And you're all tired. Like,
She
it's
doesn't
past
wanna hang
midnight.
out with like those weird creeps.
I'm like looking around for Alora, like, oh no, I've lost another friend.
You see no trace of the druid who traveled along with you.
Look,
Let's,
they're probably back at the guild. Let's just go. We'll sort out your mask thing. And
Yeah, I think it's time we got back to the Adventurers Guild for now.
So the four of you wander through the rain as it starts to pick up again. You leave Xerxes, the demigod of the dead, to collect the bodies. Many people to complain about smells and fire. And my Fleshbourhood to burn in the back. And as we fade from this scene, we find ourselves back in Fort Divinarium. The rain is coming down here as well, so that I don't have to change sound effects. We will go, Ian, you are reprising your role of the intern.
Oh boy. Let me rub my hands together menacingly.
You and Lady Bywood have just arrived in one of the airships at Port Divinarium. Legally, you have to stop by here first before you come into the Arcanium, so unfortunately, you have to stop and land and probably find accommodations in a port town, which your boss is very unhappy with. Oh, Intern, where are you?
Yeah, I'm right here, Lady Bywood.
Oh, this town is filthy. Filthy.
Absolutely.
What's with that sky? This rain doesn't even burn. Disgusting.
I know it's horrible that the people in this country don't have the nice acidy rain that keeps our skin supple and strong.
It's a free acid skincare that I use, and now I'm gonna have to exfoliate extra here. The people here are weak.
Mm-hmm.
Have we had any
It's
news?
all the magic pollution. News
of my son. My beautiful child. I am distraught,
yes.
Intern.
Of course, Lady Bywood. I'm sure someone has made a horrible mistake and not informed us of what you need on information about your son.
Are you a
Where was
parent,
the last
Intern?
place you looked? No, I have no children of my own. I find them to be a waste of time. But not yours, of course. Yours would be a useful child to carry on your legacy.
I have many children, intern. I have dozens of adopted children, and I have a few of my own little spawn that are always trying to get my money, but no one was like my dear Chambers. A beautiful, beautiful child, always listened to what mother wanted. And now I'm here in the dirty Arcanium. All right, intern, I need you to find us accommodations, and they must at least cost 30 gold. I don't want to be slumming it here. All right?
Of course, of course.
And I smell funnel cake and I demand it. I don't care if they're asleep. Get me the funnel cake.
Yes, I will knock on their doors post haste. I'm sure if the grease is still frying, they're still making funnel cake.
And clean up the body in the entry hall of the Zeppelin. One of the interns got in the way. It's not my fault. They signed the contract. Safety hazards happen. Clean up that body.
Oh yes, I'll get rid of Snot right away.
Snot? Did
Yes,
their
that was that
parents name
intern's
them
name.
that?
It was an unfortunate accident of birth. Their entire life, actually.
See, they're not a good parent like me. I'm one of the best.
Exactly.
All right. And once you have accommodations, you can just have the rest of the interns sleep in the ship or in an alley. I don't care, as long as they're not around me.
Oh,
But you will
they
sleep at
figured
the
out a
foot of the
way.
bed.
Yes, of course. That's my favorite spot. They figured out a way to actually arrange themselves into a sort of hammock structure. Just an intern superposition situation. They're very resourceful, these interns.
Disgusting. I love it. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go get some of this funnel cake. Be gone, intern.
Of course. Yes, of course. He slimily shuffles away.
As a slimy intern shuffles away, and a body of snot is carried and tossed into the harbor, and guards are paid too much money to look the other way. We fade away from Lady Bywood and her entrance into the Arcanium. Well, I hope you all had fun. Did you all enjoy today's session?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
love how the old gods cursed my connection and said no.
No internet for you.
Oh, they were trying to save you from the bad decision you made.
They nearly smoked you down today.
Look, it's my player and character kryptonite of if the villain's monologuing, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Yeah, that's fair. Grease was a good one, and they did slip.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get as much mileage as I can out of that spell.
You threw it on 3 sad halflings who were grieving their dead friend. I mean,
that was on me.
going
That was a mistake.
Well, today was a very dramatic episode that I did not think was going to happen. I had a very different plan. I thought you all were going to go into the flesh tube house.
Ooh, no.
And
We're
fight
gonna burn the flesh house.
They're
Yeah.
going to fight my flesh monster, but you
No.
solved my flesh puzzle.
Yay.
Well,
You don't fart around with that stuff. You just light it on fire and walk away.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
But if you see a boss monster, man, you accost him.
Yes.
That's what.
Because you're level 3 now. You're basically endgame.
Yeah.
We're basically gods.
So you can take one on. Thank you everyone very much for joining us. It has been an absolute delight to bring you this episode. So I have been your GM, Lucas. I typically run the Ballad of the Seven Dice Twitter, so you can usually find me there in the social medias. I'm also the GM of Ballad of the Seven Dice Chosen Few. That's our podcast that we have. And I actually am making a recap page. So it is live right now. Some of the recaps are in point form. Some of them are fully written out. But if you ever fall behind on any Rise and you're like, oh, I can't watch the one live, never fear. You can catch up there super quick and hop on and still see us live. No problem. So my recommendation for this week, I have been listening to so many tales lately. Oh my goodness. Oh, this cast. Okay, I should have thought about this before. I am going to recommend the tale of Cheaper by the Dungeon. Now, I absolutely love Cheaper by the Dungeon because not only are they very funny, their DM staff is absolute riot, but they have musicals. And when you have musical episodes, I'm all in. Every one of their Christmas specials is a musical, and they have a Summer Fun Day musical. So by all means, go check out Cheaper by the Dungeon. They're absolutely amazing. They're super funny. Their world is pretty wild. If you like the world that we have here, then you're really going to enjoy that one. And if you want to also hear some funny stuff that Seth's been on, we have Just Doctor Work for Ballad of the Seven Dice, which is also incredibly funny. So I am going to pass it on over to Ian.
This podcast, this stream is negative brought to you by my internet service provider because I got beef. But like I said, name's Ian. My Twitter is at Ian_Caliente. You can find me there. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been posting much except for retweeting like other RPG products. You can hear my voice eventually in several podcasts that will be coming out over the summer, probably. And I have 2 plugs because my Spider Day shirt came in. This is my 15th annual Spider Day Fun Run t-shirt with the proceeds going to Covenant House, Georgia. And it's very comfortable. It's one of the comfier t-shirts I have bought for myself in a long time, so it's very nice. So that's from the Critical Bits podcast, which is a queer teen superhero podcast with body horror in it. It's very good. I've laughed a lot. I'm actually caught up now, which is a change from the last time that I've spoken of this podcast. And then my second recommendation is Omen. Yes, it's Omen Investigations.
You just stole what I was going to recommend.
No! Well, I won't talk about it then. I will let you
Okay,
talk
no, go
about it.
ahead. Go ahead.
I've only done 3 episodes so far, and it's very fun. Like, they started off with, like, that news story that was circulating a couple of years ago about the mummy juice in the coffin, and, like, that's their first case, which I thought was really fun, and I'm enjoying it so far.
They're hilarious.
My third secret recommendation is Hollow Knight, which is a game that is 40 years old now, but it's very good, and I've been playing it all week, and I'm done.
We'll go over to Jess.
All right, I would like to give a shout out to my friend Sam because I just spent 2 weeks moving and it was awful. And Sam is a great friend and he also has a power drill and a truck. So shout out to Sam. He is actually on 2 actual play shows. They are both by they're called Final Show Films on YouTube. They only stream on YouTube. And the first show is called Stardust Into the Vast. It's like Golden Age sci-fi shenanigans. And they just started another show called Dalmascian Braves, which is a Final Fantasy XIV RPG. So if you're into Golden Age sci-fi shenanigans or whatever genre Final Fantasy is, check those shows out.
That sounds super interesting. Eve.
Since Ian recommended Omen, I will also recommend Omen. It's great. It's got one of the co-stars of Brits on Bikes, my other podcast, in there, Sean, who GMs it. But for an additional recommendation, I'm going to suggest In Theaters Never, which is a movie minute podcast where they discuss a movie that does not exist and has never existed. Going through it minute by minute. It's a lot of fun. And then this Friday, I will be getting back to the video game streaming with Fear, which is spooky first-person shooter with like a slow-mo gun fu.
Nice.
A lot of fun.
Be sure to check out. That'll be on this stream on Friday, so make sure to pop on by.
Friday, 7 p.m. Central.
And Jason.
Yeah, so this has turned into an Omen Investigations show stream, by the way. I actually want to talk about them for a different reason. So Sean, I believe, was one of the leads on the Only Cans game And Lucas, our
Yes.
very own Lucas, voiced a wonderful can in the game, which is pretty cool. And the reason why I bring it up is they actually recently got some exposure by Game Theory recently, which I thought was really cool. So go check out Only Cans actually. And I know we have Cassie lurking in the chat as well, who was involved.
Yeah, only
Well, that's my little shout out.
Is a sexy game about cans, soda cans, that I had a voice that I did it in the Omen Investigations. They had a Christmas special where I played Face Boy, and I was actually a mound of faces melded together, and I had 2 sets of arms, and I was constantly seeking the approval of my father, Dr. Schmedley. And so I used the voice in Only Can, so you can hear, "Father, are you proud of me?" In there, we were taking sexy pictures of a can. So you know you want to do it. Check out Only Cans.
Because we're all cansexual.
So, thank you for coming by and enjoying this lovely episode of Rise of Nyarlathotep. We will have the episode up on YouTube tomorrow and the recap as well. So, be sure to come back and join us next week as we